It's Willis here with my chunky little segment that I like to call Willis's Corner. Pretty much we'll get to this Gimp and his friend Platinum as well. I've essentially built a deck that will hopefully wipe the floor with cross rides. So this guy, and that guy can go away. This, my lovely deck box, much better than his. He also owns one. But this
contains one of the nastiest decks ever.
is Arboros Dragon. So, we'll get to him eventually. Now, the deck, to end all decks, we will cover the Arboros ride chain after the rest of the deck, obvious reasons, so it's a bit of explaining. So firstly, we have a starter, Ratu. I'll get back to him, he can sit there in the drop zone where he belongs. Because he's cute, he shouldn't come into the middle of a fight, because yeah. Compulsory 4 healing triggers. You kind of need them, any game, they can always save your ass. We also have 6 draw, 3 of each. You'll see why there is specifically 3 of each. We have only 2 critical. Now people insist that you use crit heavy Arboros decks. They don't work. They're so easy to hammer. Like I have Prince Nazim hammered a couple of times. And 4 stand. Justifiable reason for stands going in this build. You wouldn't think that with a deck that specialises in power you'd want some crit in there, you know, just to get through. Obviously you're going through with most of the damage, so the critical triggers would make sense. Stand triggers make a lot more once they're explained. So, there's my triggers. 6 draw, 2 crit, 4 stand, 4 heal. Shift them. Next, the grade 1s, the bit that starts it all. We have 2 Boom Bananas. Just because he boosts, he goes bing, back into your hand. You can block with him. Gives you large hand size, large guarding capabilities.
Too much work there.
He is a banana of death, and then he can block for you. So he wins.
Banana.
We have, again, if you're in tournament play,
Compulsory.
kind of compulsory perfect guard, yep. Can't go without Maiden of the Blossom Rain, though personally I think they should have made a perfect guard that's Musketeer, that way it would have accommodated to any Nectar player's needs. We have Arboros Dragon Branch, of which we will get back to him in a bit.
Just part more of the ride chain there.
Yep. We also have 4 of the Piece to the Resistance.
The most brutal
Corolla Dragon. He is 8k vanilla.
Most brutal 8k vanilla I've ever come across, though.
Ah, you love it, Caleb. I know.
Brutal.
So yeah, all in all, we have 2 Banana, 4 Perfect Guard, 4 Maiden of Blossom Rain, which is the Perfect Guard, Jesus. 4, so 2 Banana, 4 Perfect Guard, 4 Corolla Dragon, and 4 Arboros Dragon Branch. Grade 1s. Gone. Right. Next! Grade 2s. Timber! The grade 2 for the ride chain. Like I said, we'll get back to them. We also have 4 creatively named Glass Beach Dragon. This guy, no deck should ever need to use Counterblast 2 and draw a card. Waste of a Counterblast, except for this. You will see why laters, when I come to explaining amazing combos for the deck. We also have 4 Poison Mushrooms. Now most of you are probably cringing and kind of maybe gasping in disbelief. I'll get to that as well. You will suddenly realise that most Arboros Dragon decks out there are half-baked. No offence to guys who've really put the effort in, or come far in tourneys with them. As grade 3s, Herman, beat stick, hits for 12.
As long as it's boosted.
And the almighty Sephiroth. Right. Now, get into intricate bits, such as
The
Ride Chain. Ratoon turns to Branch. He gets in shot. Turns to Timber, covered in glare from the light. Turns to
The ultimate.
Gimp. Sephiroth. So, how's this thing work? Ratoon. Basic, 4K, grade 0. When you ride him, if it's not part of the ride chain, he forerunners. On the other hand, if you do ride the grade 1 on top of him, this spicy wiener, then suddenly you can go, blah, let's look at the top 7 cards of my deck, take an Arboros Dragon, Timber, or Sephiroth, and add it to my hand. So, not a bad little effect. It's probably the most stable of ride chains as well. That, with the Egodial ride chain, various gubbins like that. What other ones do that?
Spectral Duke.
Spectral Duke does it, yeah. Spectral Duke's spammy, in all fairness. But this has hammered Spectral Duke decks time and again. Right. So, now we're on the grade 1. So, people will be wondering, what happens if I ride a grade 2? Hang back. Before you hit the grade 1, so before you go to grade 2,
Even if
on
you're
your
the first
turn, even if you went first and can't attack, call something. If it's a Koroa Dragon, you are going to storm it. You are going to kill cross rides. If it's anything else, fair dues, still roll with it. You can call any of the grade 1s.
Even if it's a draw trigger.
Call a draw trigger, and you will see why, and this explains why I have 3 of each. Draw triggers are ridiculous.
Right, so if we get the Corolla Dragon...
I'll explain that as it goes, but yeah. Right, you ride the grade 2 on the grade 1. Now if you have the grade 0 in the soul when you ride the grade 2 on 1, it allows you to pick one of your rear guards, aka, let's go for Koroa Dragon, search your deck, and clone one. Seems kind of effective, you know, kind of effective, makes sense, you know, kind of copying, it's going with that whole Nectar spreading the seeds kind of feel. You know, and it saves you a card in hand. Wait, you ride Arboros Dragon Sephiroth on top of the grade 2 and the grade 1 is in the soul, you can clone again. So you go, boom, I suddenly have 3 Koroa Dragons. Oh, save 2 cards in hand. Hang up, Limit Break. Now this absolute monster gives the ability to all of your rear guards and itself, gives it the effect, if there is another card with the same name as this in play, gains 3 grand. So, because there is another Koroa Dragon, each of these gains 3,000 power. So, that's part of the potential. Because suddenly, you've got 11k Koroa Dragons. On the other hand, you went with them dancing sunflowers because you had nothing else to clone, and you just wanted to start cloning. They're 8k. 8,000 power draw trigger. They're a Koroa Dragon without having to play Koroa Dragon. Now, not only that, my favouriteest of favourite combos, you manage to get your Koroas down, but you have one in your hand when you're doing the ride chain. Yeah? You go, boom, I call my first. You go, grade 2, I clone one. I then call a poison mushroom from my hand. Next turn, ride the grade 3. I duplicate the poison mushroom, hang up. Oh, why is he getting some 7Ks? Oh, because the Koroa Dragon comes down. He hits Limit Break. These guys are 10,000 power. And because you have a full rear guard, which is easy to do with the Arboros deck, conserving on hand as well, when they hit, you draw a card. With the Koroa Dragons behind them, that's a 21,000 power column that hits and draws. You get a stand trigger, you're standing him back up, going in for another 15,000 power, and hitting again. He's an absolute behemoth. If he doesn't go particularly well, you know, use him for intercepting. Your opponent may or may not snipe him. If your opponent pings him, go with the alternate. This deck uses no counterblasts, except for Glass Beige Dragon. So he hits, he draws you. This guy hits, he draws you another card. As well as that, if you've got 2 of them in play, and the Arboros Dragon in your Vanguard, and you've hit Limit Break, he's at 12,000. He's at 11,000. That's 23,000 power column that when it hits, anything draws a card. So you go, ooh, you've got your 13,000 power cross ride. You have to guard for 15,000, not a 10,000 like you usually would. This actually decimates any kind of cross ride deck. With the one exception of the blood, which may go, boom, your glass beads are dead, but it's wasted a limit break. I mean, if that happens, you go, oh, my glass beads are dead, I'll have to stop drawing cards. I'll call 2 more Sephiroths, 24,000 power column.
And your Vanguard column, if you've
It's
got the full ride
25.
chain.
Yes, Vanguard is 25 if you've got that done, and you've got the full ride chain. Now, if that turns up, you can start hammering the 10k Vanguards, such as Blondazel or Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion. Is he 10 or is he 11? Fine, Vermilion gets away from the Holy Hellfire, but you get something like a Blondazel, Sea Amaterasu.
Yeah, Sea Amaterasu's 10.
You know, you get your big major cards that everybody uses because nobody has any creativity. Suddenly he's hitting them for 25. They're having to guard for 20 just to save themselves from the initial hit.
Even if it's something like Chrome Jailer, and they're preparing to limit break, you can still get over it.
Yeah.
And then their limit break actually hurts them.
On the alternate, we don't just want Arboros Dragon Sephiroths as only grade 3s. We need something to discard to perfect guards. But if he has to come out, we have Herman. He's 12k when boosted. You don't even need Arboros Dragon Sephiroth's effect to make that 23,000 power. That's 11, that's 12 off the bat. He gets plus 3 more, he's 26, is it?
It'll be 15 on its own, so yeah,
26. Yeah, 26,000 power, which means if they're packing an 11k, such as Vermilion, such as Dragonic Overlord, he is going to hammer it into the ground like a tent peg. This guy wins games. This guy makes him win games. Makes these things kill things by boosting for copious amounts. And these little ninjas draw you a hand of godlike proportions. Against Kalim, in other words, the guy in the background who is talking currently, who runs this YouTube page, I have played him before, and I have beaten his personal record with a Mega Colony deck of 14 card hand, was it?
No, it was a 15 card hand, and you just broke it at the end.
I broke it to 16. I have managed to score a 16 card hand and hammer my opponent into the ground with this deck. 16 cards, surprisingly easy to do. You keep hitting them with mushrooms, you keep getting stand triggers, you hit them again, that's 4 cards they've just drawn you. On the other hand, this deck has the potential to draw 7 cards in a turn. You go mushrooms. You go, ooh, draw phase, I'll have that card. You go, I attack. I hit. I draw a card. You go, I attack. Twin drive. Draw trigger. I draw a card. Draw trigger. I draw a card. Any leftover power goes on this shroom, just to get through if they've got any damage-based triggers. Hammer them again. Draw a card. Skadoosh, 7 cards from nothing. This deck, like I have said time and again, is designed to hammer cross-ride meta decks. So, I hope you have very much enjoyed this video, and I hope next time you see an Arboros Dragon Sephiroth in somebody's folder,
you crap yourself.
You crap yourself. Thank you, Kaelin. and decide to trade for it, buy it, you know, maybe do various favours for them in a dark alley somewhere for it. You know, just Get these, bring them to tournaments, and
Win.
kick Blonde as out and Spectral Duke out of the metagame. Do it.